Though we have all traveled many uncertain roads, we have always recognized something wasn't right. We searched high and low, yet our paths had never intersected. Our desire to seek truth, then to speak true, has brought us all together. That thing of ours is rooted in truth, because truth is the only unshakable foundation. In the greatest book, it states in John 8:32, "For ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free."
Truth is a powerful force. It is the foundation on which all great achievements are built, and the bedrock of trust and respect in any relationship. When we are rooted in truth, we can be confident that our decisions and actions are grounded in reality rather than in speculation or wishful thinking.
The pursuit of truth is not always easy. It requires courage, perseverance, and a willingness to face uncomfortable facts. But in the end, the truth is always worth it. It allows us to make better decisions, to build stronger relationships, and to create a more just and equitable world.
From politics and world events to entertainment and pop culture, we've got you covered. We'll explore our history and the stories that matter to uncover the truth that lies at the heart of each one. With our fingers on the pulse of the news cycle, we'll provide the insights and analysis you need to stay informed and engaged. As we stay rooted in truth and let the truth guide us in all that we do, let us be willing to listen, to learn, and seek out the facts, even when they challenge our own assumption or belief.
Let us never forget that the pursuit of truth is not just an individual endeavor, but a collective one. Only by working together
With honesty and integrity,
can we build a better future for ourselves.
And for generations to come.
This is That Thing of Ours.
How's it going, everybody? Happy Monday on this Monday, 2nd of December, 2024. I'd like to thank each and every one of y'all for joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and Pill.net.
And if you haven't already, please take a minute and give us that virtual hug. If you're over on YouTube or Rumble, hit that thumbs up. If you're over on pill.net, take that red pill. If you're over on Facebook, no, X. Goodness, what happened? I have a day off.
You have a
and I
case
lose
of the
my
Monday.
mind.
A case of the
Okay,
Mondays.
if you're over on X, smash that heart. And if you're on Facebook, you have like 7 choices.
My God, 5 days or 4 days, and we're out of practice already.
I know.
Wow.
Apparently, we cannot take that much time off ever again.
I mean, it was nice.
Yeah, it was.
Much needed.
Much needed.
Much needed. Hope everybody had an amazing Thanksgiving.
Yes.
And we pray that all of y'all were able to truly feel the things that you are thankful for in this life, and that we're able to maintain that moving forward. All right,
Yes.
enough of all that jazz. What's going on? Ham Solo was first today. What's going on, Ham Solo? Thanks for joining.
Over on Pilled, got F. Clint in the
Yo,
house.
F. Clint.
Got Chachi in the
Hey,
house.
Chachi.
Got Miss Jenny in the house.
Jenny!
Watch her big frogs, Jenny. Got Mike in the house.
Hey, Mike, what's going on, man?
Got Miss Steph in the house.
Hey, Steph.
Are you still tired? I know you were cooking your little booty off for 25
she's
people.
going crazy with all
Oh,
that.
goodness. She had so much going on. We love you too.
We love all of y'all. Thank
Yes.
you.
There's Miss Jan.
Graham Jam. You have been MIA. Lots going on with church this time of year. That's understandable.
Yeah.
Just finished up with 450 shoe boxes for Samaritan's Purse and 80 backpacks full for kids in North Carolina. So just tiny bit busy. Love you guys. We love you too,
We
Jan.
love you too.
You are the example that we should all be like, striving for.
Yes.
She really is the go-getter.
Yes, she
Man,
really is.
Anyways, Carol. Hey, Carol.
Got
What's
Carol
going on?
in the house. Got little Lunker in the house.
Hey, little Lunker. What's going on? Hope y'all are doing good tonight.
There's Miss Hope.
Hey, Hope. Man, I missed all sorts of people. People just rolling in.
Just rolling in. Rolling. So it's been a lot of news going on with us taking those days off.
Yeah, I know, right? It's been crazy. Okay, I'm done typing now. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's fine. You're fine.
Trying
You're
to keep
fine.
up myself.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep up with Phil too. So trust me, I understand.
Yeah, there's been a couple of things that have been going on in the news world over the weekend. Surprise, surprise.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Chops, what's going on?
Work, lurk, engaged.
Work, lurk, engaged.
You know what? You lurk
Hey,
away.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're glad to
thank
be
the
back,
Lord.
even though we're already making mistakes because I guess we're out of practice.
Got any more of that DTOO?
Right?
Yeah.
Right. So many things happened. Let's start
Yeah,
with this video.
Which
Can
video?
you read this, please?
Beyond epic supercut, no one is above the law. Well, nobody is above the law.
Well, hold on. Hold that thought. Ready?
Are you sure nobody's above the law?
Just
All right.
hold on.
That's what they say.
Listen.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one is above the law.
No one is above the law.
Nobody is above the law.
No one 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 is above the law.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Thoughts?
Well, I know that we got a collective response from all of the people that were put up there.
Uh-huh.
What do you mean, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they ain't got nothing to say now. Now they're too busy trying to scramble and figure out exactly what they can say to try to cover that giant turd. I don't know. It's going to be a difficult one, and they already sound ridiculous. I think we got some good clips about all the shenanigans that have been going on in relation to that.
Yes, we do. Maybe they need a cat box in the Capitol building to cover all the shit.
I'm sure Cat Turd would be happy to provide some assistance with that one. Jan says they mean that only Democrats aren't above the law. Everyone else, yeah, everyone else, yeah. There's no one above the law. But if you're part of the Democratic Party, then, well, you know, it's up to interpretation.
Yeah.
Steph says, yeah, Biden said it was all politically charged at his son.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. It's
Mhm.
you know, I've got thoughts about this because, like, we've got.
Well, hold on. Before you can we go to the next one and then I'll get your thoughts because this
Fine.
is going to play into it. I
You promise?
guarantee.
All
Yeah.
right.
Ready?
Yeah.
Can you read that?
According to the Bidens, Hunter is the victim.
Listen.
And Biden's family believe that the attacks on Hunter ultimately were meant to push him into relapse and imperil Joe's.
You got to be
That is
kidding
such
me.
a- that
You
is-
got to
I-
be
Give me a
I-
break. He had
I'm
more
ex-
opportunities than most
Right.
kids ever do.
I am simply explaining their rationale for
Yeah.
doing it at this time. So, in other words, Joe Biden
this
felt
is not
bad
against you.
that his presidency caused Hunter Biden to get investigated.
But is Axios saying that's their theory, or are they saying that's the Biden theory?
That's what I said.
So
Joe Biden and the family feel that
That's
Hunter,
basically what his letter
they
said.
believe that he was attacked.
Yeah.
They were attacking Hunter to push him into relapse and imperil Joe's presidency.
Everybody from all different
me a
sides. It's
break.
such nonsense when you have people from all different backgrounds that have had people that
That's
had
exactly
disabilities when it comes
Yeah.
to the drug addiction. No one's even
can't blame
talking
your
about that.
parents.
People
Yeah.
are talking about the corruption and explain that to all the men that you put behind bars when you signed the crime bill, and now you want sympathy for your son. You had no problem locking up all these other men back in the day after you authored the bill. So spare me with the, oh, this is because pushing him into relapse. No one even is talking about
Oh,
that.
see, and along the way to finding his international business dealing, we found hookers and crack.
Yeah.
But only thing people care about
And he
is
put that out.
is the Romanian billionaire, the Ukrainian Burisma deal, the Moscow mayor's wife, the millions coming out of China and the diamond rings. Those are the things that happen. By the way, this is the most luxurious crack addiction ever. With crack, usually your life goes down. The more crack he did, his life went up and millions came spiraling in. The fact is he didn't pay tax.
Thoughts. I told you it'd play into it.
Yeah. So there's obviously a game afoot going on. And we have this inkling for some strange reason that Joe Biden is actually kind of soft helping President Trump, and it's little stuff like putting on a Trump hat and not really being as beneficial to Kamala Harris as he could have been. A lot of things kind of popping up there.
Yeah, him and Kiki aren't the best of friends.
No, they may not be the best friends, but the thing is we need to remember to think chess and not checkers. And so what could this actually be doing? Well, we're seeing a lot of exposure of everything. I mean, just already, we've already seen a lot of the exposure, the talk that's happening. So what has it done? It's actually created a reason for people to talk about it. It's also bringing up Burisma. It's bringing up, there was a congressional release of information saying that everything that we pretty much said about the coronavirus was 100% true, and that we were, suppressed. There's a lot of it playing in, but it all makes that conversation happen because Hunter Biden was instrumental in making sure that those biolabs were opened up in Ukraine. So yes, it does protect Hunter, and we've been kind of saying Hunter Biden turned state's evidence a long time
video
ago.
about that.
Really?
Well,
Okay.
not about that, but something. You just hold on. Hold that thought.
Okay. Jan says, like, Hunter will keep his nose clean. Actually, he doesn't have a problem with that. It's about keeping his pipe clean. Anyways, he has a pattern and it will happen.
Yeah.
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 Jenny says, I think that this won't stop what's coming. No, nothing
Yeah.
can stop what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm on the wrong page here. Here we go. There we go, Jenny. Skunk says he cut a deal with Trump. I agree.
I agree.
I agree. The deal was cut a long time ago before Joe became president, is my guess. But we'll probably never hear about that one.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
We got a few more about Hunter. When I say few, I mean several.
We got several. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can you read that, please?
Oh, yeah, this one. Oh, by the way, this press secretary has absolutely no legal obligation to tell the truth whatsoever. Regime paid liar Karine Jean-Pierre repeatedly claims Joe will not pardon corrupt son Hunter Biden.
Mm-hmm. And Chachi says if Trump was CIC during the pause all the way through, now technically he's pardoning
Hunter. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, it would
Yeah.
be Trump pardoning if he was the commander in chief this whole time. But
Yep.
yeah,
We'll
it's
see. You ready?
a movie. Yep.
Second one, would the president pardon or commute his son if he's convicted?
So I've answered this question before. It was asked of me not too long ago, a couple of weeks ago, and I was very clear and I said no.
Okay. We go back to the first question of the briefing. I know you said not a lot's changed since yesterday and that it's a personal matter, but from a presidential perspective, is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No.
Again, you've also said several times that the president would not pardon or commute sentences for his son, Hunter. I just want to make sure that that is not going to change over the next 6 months. The president's saying he would not.
It's still a no. It's still a
It
no.
will always be a no.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no. And I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No.
Interesting, right?
That is interesting.
Well, before I get your thoughts, one
Well,
more.
I mean, it's not like the big guy ever said anything about it.
Well, are you sure? Can you read
Flashback.
that?
Biden crime syndicate leader Joe Big Guy Biden vows not to pardon corrupt son Hunter.
Remember, the internet's forever. Hold on.
Yeah.
With regard to the question regarding the family, I'm extremely proud of my son Hunter. He has overcome an addiction. He's one of the brightest, most decent men I know, and I am satisfied that I'm not going to do anything. I said I abide by the jury decision. I will do that, and I will not pardon him.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Huh.
That's interesting.
That is interesting. So, yeah, Joe said that he wasn't, but I mean, again, let's
Which
be real.
Joe?
I mean, yeah, well, which Joe?
version?
Yeah, which version of Joe was that? And it's not just that. I mean, he's a politician. How do you know when a politician's lying? Their lips are moving.
Exactly.
How many of them do we actually trust? We trust Trump because he's nothing close to resembling a politician.
Right.
Yeah, but
So before we get to more Hunter,
mhm.
how about some Kelly?
Some Kelly, I could go
Yeah.
for some.
We need a
Kelly.
break for just a minute, and then I have 3 more videos about Hunter. Are you ready?
Hold on, Skunk got a zinger there. It's pretty smart. Maybe that's not really his son. So technically, he wouldn't be pardoning his son.
Well, there you go. Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Aaron, what's going on? Just finishing up work and saw the time. We'll be lurking till I get home in a few. Hello, everyone.
Well,
Hello,
lurk
Aaron.
away, sir.
Lurk away, sir. Be safe.
Lurk. You ready?
Yep.
Let's listen to Kelly.
All right, let's do that.
Do you feel like your life is in a storm right now? Like you are just getting beat up by the wind and the waves, and it feels like you've been here for a long time, and you just need a break. If that's you, this is for you. You see, the truth is, before God calms the storm, he's got to calm you. He has to calm you before he ever calms the storm. Do you want to know why? Because Jesus doesn't care about your storm. He cares about you. He doesn't like seeing you go through this. He doesn't like seeing you panic. But before he's just going to calm the storm, he's got to get to you first. You see, he's trying to tell you right now, stop looking at the storm and look at me. Calm down. I've already taken care of it. I already overcame this when I overcame the world. You see, my friends, his grace and love is so big that he will always meet us right where we are, right in the middle of our storm. But his love is also so big that he will never leave us in the middle of our storm. You see, the truth is, I may not know where you are right now. Maybe you are right smack dab in the middle of a storm right now. Maybe you're just coming out of one. Maybe you see one coming and you can't avoid it. Whatever the case may be, one thing I know for sure, the storms in life are just going to keep on happening over and over and over. And there's nothing we can do about that. But what we can do is learn to shift our focus from everything that's going on around us back to the one who's already overcome it all and say, you know what? I'm just going to focus on you. I mean, let's be real. I don't have the strength for anything else. You have to get to the place where you can say, I'm not going to worry about anything. Instead, I'm going to pray about everything. I'm going to tell God what I need, and I'm going to thank him for all that he's done. You see, that may not make the storm go away, but it's going to help you get right through it. I mean, have you ever noticed when our focus is on the storm seems to last forever. But when we shift our focus to Jesus and stop looking at the storm, that's always when it seems to end. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. Or is that just how God works? You see, the truth is, God never intended for you to worry about that storm. This storm that you're in right now was never meant to change the plan. God wasn't caught off guard by this storm. So why are you? The plan always was and is to get to the other side, from bondage to freedom, from death to life, from burnt out and beat down to your promised land. The plan doesn't change just because you're in a storm. When I was first reading the Bible, I would get really irritated and annoyed every time it referred to me as a sheep. I mean, come on. I don't want to be a sheep. I want to be like a panther or a cobra. You know, something cool. Why we got to be a sheep, God? But then God showed me something. Being a sheep's really not that bad. You see, here's what I realized. If I'm going to climb a mountain and I need an animal to carry all my gear, am I going to pick a sheep? No. If I'm going to go trail riding and need an animal to ride on, am I going to pick a sheep? No, that would be ridiculous, right? And why would that be ridiculous? Because sheep are not load-bearing creatures. They were never meant to carry any weight. You see, what God is trying to tell us is that he is the good shepherd. We are the sheep. We were never meant to carry anything. The stress of your job, it's not for you. The stress of your kids and your family, it's not for you. Your finances, your marriage, your health, that weight is not for you. Please hear me, my friends. Anytime you feel the weight of the world on your shoulders, anytime you feel the issues of life weighing down on you, guess what? That was never meant for you to carry. So let it go. Hand it to the shepherd. It was always his job anyway. You see, when the Bible tells us not to worry about anything and pray about everything, what it really means is don't worry about anything and pray about everything, because that weight was never yours to carry. The storm was never meant to steal your focus. As Christians, we are really, really good about praying and thanking God before the storm. And we're really good about praising and thanking him after. We just seem to drop the ball in the middle of the storm. And the middle, that's what we call regular, everyday life. So let me encourage you today. Shift your focus. Stop focusing on the storm. Focus on Jesus. The truth is that storm that you're in today, that's actually what God is using to shape you into who he's called you to be. Remember, the plan was always to get to the other side. That storm that you're going through today is what God is using to shape you and mold you and make you into who he's called you to be once you get to the other side. Yeah, you're in a storm today, but you don't have to focus on it. You see, even Peter, when he walked on the water and he sank, in my opinion, that's a good time to stop the storm, Jesus. Your friend is sinking, but that's not how the story goes. Instead, Jesus just picks him back up, says, "Oh, ye of little faith." They walk back to the boat together, and then the Bible says Jesus stopped the storm. You see, what that's telling us is sometimes you're going to have to walk back to the boat a little wet. Sometimes you just got to go through the storm. But guess what? Jesus never left his side, and he hasn't left yours either. I mean, let's be real. Jesus has never failed anyone. He won't start today with you. And think about that for a minute. Hey, if this message blessed and encouraged you today, please.
Thoughts, sir?
How much does that actually tie into everything that we've been going through? You can't tell people, you have to show them. That's very much everybody's life experience. Yeah, we can go through all the DARE programs. We can go through this or that or the other thing to tell us not to do smoking or drinking or this or that or the other thing. None of it makes a difference. None of it makes a difference because we're human beings and we got to go through the experience so that way we understand. Can anybody say that they have a deep understanding of something that they haven't gone through? And so once you have that deep understanding of having gone through all these trials, tribulations, trials and everything, you have to find your way through it. And the only way to find your way through it is to actually go through all of the issues with it. It doesn't make it easy. It doesn't make it simple or, really much anything. Really, it just simplifies what the problem is yeah, okay, so we wanted that wisdom. We ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And now we have to see it to completion. That's what it's all about. And the way to wake people up is to make sure that, sometimes you have to get off the boat and get a little wet. But you also get that promise at the same time. So there's always that light on the other side of all of it, that redemption. And that's what we're looking for. Wendy says, I don't seem to get a chance to dry off. Well, we're amphibious, so I guess it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have much for you there. I know that sometimes it can seem like it's a never-ending scenario, but if there's anything that's guaranteed is that nothing is forever. That we can see here on this planet.
This too shall pass.
This too shall pass, good or bad. And sometimes we just have to focus on this is going to pass at some time, because I understand on a deep level feeling like something's never going to end, but it really does. It really does. It gets better. It gets better. Rambo says, I love the goat, Santino. I'm really excited. I'm about to grow my beard back. It's just, yeah, that's the white part, man. It's just, yeah. Quit your job. Just over broke.
Did you really quit your job?
Wow. All right.
Oh, going
full time. Man, I'm excited to hear that.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah. That's awesome, man. I know that things have been looking up for you, and man, that's really exciting news. And that everybody here loves you over there on your show, Joe. So yeah, make sure y'all are supporting Joe as he's taking this leap of faith as well. So
you ready?
Awesome. Yep.
It's being reported that he forced his dad to do it so he wouldn't release a tell-all book. You ready?
I mean, that's a possibility.
Let's listen.
Sounds like a
I'll
narrative.
say this. Hunter, your dad has given you a great, great gift. The gift of freedom and taking this weight off your shoulders. Yeah. I hope now Hunter gives his dad a gift. The gift of being a good son, a good father, a good grandfather, a good human being, leading a productive life. Can I finish? Mm-hmm. And staying clean for the rest of his life. So I hope that this goes both ways.
Thoughts?
Nice flowery words. Yeah, good for her. I hope all of these nice things. We all hope a lot of nice things, Heifer. Problem is that it's not the same. because they're not normal people. They're not the kinds of people that care about you and I. They're the kind of people who care about themselves and their own well-being. It is nice to hope that Hunter will be, all of these nice things to his father, but really we understand who the Bidens are, and there's a lot of family baggage that's going to have to be dealt with there. And if nothing else, I pray that they're able to figure that one out because of the amount of pain that they all went through. They've been given to us, and yeah, we need some healing. Rambo says, now that I'm going full time, I can finally have you guys back. If you're interested, man, we're always interested to be around you. It's just been ridiculous. Been studying for this HVAC exam. We got that this week. Yeah, excited to get close to being done with HVAC here. But yeah, it's been full time. Haven't had a chance to see one of your shows, Joe, but yeah, I would love to anytime, whenever it's convenient for you, sir.
Yes, just let us know.
Skunk says, I hope she leaves TV. Yeah, me too. I have a feeling that a lot of these people who have been pressing the narrative on the other side this entire time, people aren't just going to have, there's just not going to be that many people to support their continued presence on the Tell Live vision. I think people are going to be over it when they recognize, just like with everything that we were playing earlier with KJP and all the congressmen and senators and everybody saying, he's not going to, pardon Hunter. He's not going to pardon people.
Yeah.
You've already shown us who you are, and we recognize we don't want you there.
Exactly. Yep. Text away, Rambo.
Yeah, text away, man.
You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you read that, please?
Scott Jennings goes off on brain-rotted Democrats who are defending Joe Biden's pardon of Hunter.
You ready?
Man, CNN, they've been
Scott Jennings has been.
Yeah, he's been
on fire.
He's been spanking him.
Yeah. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Listen, you guys can spend all day long trying to spin that this is Donald Trump's fault, that this is somehow caused by Donald Trump. Oh, he's appointing the wrong people. Oh, he did it. Oh, this is the worst possible thing a president could possibly do to his party and to the country, to sit for a year and say, I will not do this. I will not do this. The rule of law is sacred. We have to respect the justice system. Juries, we have to respect juries. We have to respect the guardrails and the norms of our democracy. These people are liars. Inflation, it's transitory. Afghanistan, it's a success. The border is secure. Robert Hur is a liar. The videos are cheap fakes. Biden has a cold. He'll never drop out. Oh, I'll never pardon Hunter. It's all a lie. It is all a grift. Every American, except the most partisan, brain-rotted people, are going to be outraged by this today. He is going to leave off. You think 38, 39% job approval is bad? Just you wait. Just you wait. He's disgraced today. Outrageous.
You don't need to, but Scott, you don't need to hurl names and say people like me are brain-rotted. Come on, that's a little beyond the pale, even for you, Scott.
Listen,
I disagree. We can
for yourself.
disagree.
You don't have to defend this. He's leaving office. You don't have to defend it. You don't have to die on this hill. You can say this is wrong because everybody knows that it is. It's wrong. Are you fine with the lying? Are you fine with him sitting before the election all year and lying to the American people? Are you fine with the lying about it?
I don't think that he was lying. I think he made a decision after the fact and decided this was the right thing for him and for his family. Period. Full stop.
John,
Donald Trump decided that it was okay to pardon
Joe Biden, Karine Jean-Pierre. How many minutes of tape do we have of both of these people telling the American people this will not happen? It's I mean, we could play it all morning. It's a lie, and it's a lie to benefit his own family, and that's all that it is. And everybody who went on TV and said, oh, look how he's the modern George Washington. He's drained every ounce of credibility from every surrogate. If Karine Jean-Pierre had an ounce of self-respect, she'd get off the plane in Africa today where they're going so he can avoid the press and resign. He's drained all of her credibility, and everybody else who's defended this, it's draining for them forever.
Thoughts?
So When our founding fathers convened to write the Constitution over 235 years ago, they set in motion an experiment that changed the world. America would not be a land of kings, but a nation of laws. Since then, generations of Americans have worked to defend and improve our laws, hold accountable those who break or undermine them, and ensure equal rights and protections for all. Now, something that's interesting about that, I'll go ahead and share my screen here. There we go. April 28th, 2023. Proclamation on Law Day by Joe Biden. Beautifully said. Yeah, if they only understood that. You know, it's kind of funny. You know, you sit here and you watch CNN now, and it might almost actually be worth tuning into CNN just to see him tell them the truth and watch their minds melt. They can't handle it. See, and he also brought up something that reminds me. He went to Africa, correct? Where did he go in Africa? While this was happening, I don't know exactly where he went in Africa.
I don't know.
Was it Kenya by chance?
I don't know.
And the only reason why I ask is because he did this where he covered his son, and we know that he's probably going to have to pardon a couple other people other than, you know, his son Hunter, because there's some other people that he needs to protect. But this protection really will end up leading back directly to Barack Obama. See, the thing is this isn't about Hunter protecting himself. He's been having his strings pulled for a long time by Obama. It's something that we're all pretty confident about, that Joe Biden isn't the one making the calls as to what's going on over there. And so as he pardons his son, could he also be over there in Africa trying to pave the way for Barry to make his run to Kenya? Because it looks like things are looking not so hot for the blue team. So yeah,
exactly.
just kind of wondering if this is going to end up tying into that, because we know that Q said that Barry's going to try to claim Kenyan citizenship.
Exactly.
Just kind of have a feeling that all of this is going to end up playing in together and work to point the finger back at Barack Obama. I have a feeling that that's what a lot of this is going to end up pointing to. This is, again, think chess, not checkers.
Yep. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Can you read that, please?
Grant Stinchfield predicts next 2 pardons following Hunter.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hunter Biden will not be the only one pardoned by Joe Biden. So it's no surprise Joe lied that he wouldn't pardon Hunter Biden. Well, we knew he would, and he did. Here's the next one to be pardoned. James Biden, Joe Biden's brother. And after that, on the day before Joe Biden leaves office, Joe Biden will pardon himself. Because the real deal in all of this is the Biden family corruption, not these penny ante cases against Hunter Biden. Yeah, income tax evasion is serious. The gun charge, filling out the form, most people don't go to jail for that, even though Democrats are supposed to be big, strong on gun laws, right? But the Biden family corruption, what will happen with that? Biden has no choice but to pardon himself and his brother. He's already pardoned Hunter, as he should, by the way. He exploited Hunter Biden. Hunter Biden is a drug-addicted sex fiend who his father, for money, sent to the wolves, the most evil, powerful men on earth that would eat Hunter Biden alive. But in the name of the Biden family fortune, Joe Biden sent his son packing, come back with the cash, the bag man. So, of course, Joe Biden pardoned him, as any good father would. But mark my words, the next pardons will be James Biden and then Joe Biden himself.
Thoughts?
See, I don't know if that's what's really going to happen. I mean, it's interesting.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
Absolve
really do.
himself.
Mhm.
I still believe Hunter turned state's evidence.
That may be, but I still believe he's going to, and I think his brother
Uh-huh.
also, and Joe, that's why he's going to pardon all 3 of them,
Because
because
they
they're
are
going
all
to talk.
Yeah, they're going to talk, and that makes it easier for all of them to talk. I think that there was a deal in the background that we just haven't heard about. I don't know if we're ever going to hear about that deal, but if we see that the Bidens start cooperating with the government all of a sudden, whether or not they tell us, it would only make sense that some kind of deal was made in the background. And
Yeah.
that's how that's how it works. None of us are surprised by the fact that there's deals that happen in the background. So would it be any different if President Trump makes a deal with President Biden to save the Biden what's left of the family legacy and give it a chance to survive, which it wouldn't have had otherwise? Now it will have that chance to survive. We just might not hear about, again, all the intricate details that go on in the back rooms. And I don't think that President Trump is I don't, if that's the way business is done, I don't have a problem if President Trump is doing, deals in back rooms, because in the end, I don't think it runs any other way. Hey, Nuts, Naz Pudnut. What's up, Pudnut? How you doing? Thanks for joining us again. I'm going to figure out how to say that one day. Okay. Anyways. Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's listen.
All right.
Jesus lives 33 years perfectly. I can't go 33 seconds. Through sickness, through pain, through anxiety, through depression, through temptation, he never sins. He endures it all perfectly. He was not just a godly man, he was God in the flesh. He was not just a good teacher, he was the apotheosis of knowledge, never needing mercy or grace or forgiveness. He gave mercy, gave grace, gave forgiveness. And then with his perfect self, he climbs on a cross. And on that cross, he takes on that bitter cup that had your name on it. He writes his name over yours. He drinks that cup and finds the bottom in 3 hours. Flips that cup over and says, "It is finished." The debt that I owe to God for all that I have done, the debt that you were going to pay through separation from God, Jesus cuts the check with his life, and the memo says, paid in full.
Thoughts?
Forgiveness. That's what it's about. We have to be grateful for the forgiveness that we get. And with that forgiveness, we should also give that forgiveness as well. That's what's going to end up making all this, whole world continue to spin around the way it's supposed to. That's the way he designed it. It's not for us. I know that there are going to be people who are going to have justice brought to them. It's going to be the worst of the worst, and the ones who are, I guess, hell-bent, for lack of a better word, on trying to bring down anything that is right and proper in this world. But those who got wrapped up in it because they were just merely trying to keep food on the table, and people who just believed everything that they were told without questioning it, are they really evil people? No, they're just people who just kind of fell under it. So we all need that grace, and we're all going to need that grace moving forward. And we just, pray and leave it to God to let him figure that out. And we know that, he works through all of us. So we know that it will be perfect in the end. Mm-hmm. So we pray, and we are thankful, and we do our best to try to not sin again. But again, it's not our deeds. It's just by the grace.
Exactly. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Can you read that, please?
Let's check in on Morning Joe and Mika after Trump nominates Kash Patel for the FBI director that Kay called months ago.
I did call it.
You
You
did.
ready?
Yep.
And number two now, Kash Patel. And Kash Patel, of course, is a person who infamously said he was going to jail reporters and journalists and news people who did not go along with the 2020 election conspiracy theory. It's not even because he's an ideologue. It's because he seems, according to this piece and everything we've seen, singularly focused on exacting revenge on people who did not carry through on Donald Trump's threats of retribution. And again, we will be playing the clip in a minute where he promises to arrest journalists and reporters and news people who refused to go along with the 2020 Stop the Steal conspiracy theories.
Kash Patel, perceived by many to be deeply dangerous because he has indeed, as you note, no qualifications for this job. Many of Trump's former aides said as much 4 years ago. But Patel, I'm told, and I'm talking to people in the orbit the last couple of days, There is no ideology. There's no agenda here other than retribution. Patel's one defining characteristic is that he is simply loyal to Donald Trump.
Kash Patel is not just controversial among media outlets. He's not just controversial among Republican senators. He is controversial inside Trump's own orbit. If somebody threatens the Constitution, if somebody threatens the First Amendment, if somebody threatens the basic Bill of Rights, it does not matter whether you have to say no to one of those or two of those or three of those. You know, the founders did not write that the Senate had the advise and consent power for maybe one and a half dangerous elections. So got that for as many as you need. And by the way, this is not just uniformly vote no against everybody that Donald Trump puts up. I think everybody agrees that Marco Rubio, though not a Democrat selection, certainly is within the framework of somebody who could be Secretary of State, who knows the issues, who works with people on both sides, who may be an effective Secretary of State. Same thing with the Treasury Director. Same thing with the Treasury Director. But not this. Play it again.
We will go out and find the conspirators, not just in government, but in the media. Yes, we're going to come after the people in the media who lied about American citizens, who helped Joe Biden rig presidential elections. We're going to come after you. Whether it's criminally or civilly, we'll figure that out. But yeah, we're putting you all on notice.
Yeah, and we're putting you on notice. This is not only bad for the men and women who run the FBI. This is not only bad for the rule of law. This is not only bad for the First Amendment. This is not only bad for the United States of America. This is bad for Donald Trump. This is bad for the Trump administration. This is not going to end well. So I think the best case scenario for everybody is that Kash Patel and this talk of Kash Patel ends like the Matt Gaetz nomination ended, because this will not go well for anybody. And I still believe there will be 4 Republican senators who will not vote to confirm somebody who says he's going to throw judges in jail. He's going to throw bureaucrats in jail. He's going to throw reporters in jail who did not go along with the 2020 Stop the Steal conspiracy theory. And by the way, just got word the Wall Street Journal did write about this.
Mm-hmm. We'll get to that.
They don't like it.
No.
Thoughts? The whining. Oh, the whining. So the interesting part to that whole bit, though, is that he actually played like the entire clip that needed to be played. They could have cut out the part where he said those corrupt individuals, those who are part of this problem, who have been lying to the people. They actually kept that part in of what Kash said. So there is a little bit more honesty in what we're seeing in the press over there. But their opinion piece that they give to us is the part that's still way off base in terms of reality and what they're telling us. Very, very different things. You hate that sound effect.
She said it sounds too moist.
It's just, yeah, well, he's the one doing that. But yeah, it'll itch after it dries. He'll be fine. So it's the tap dancing is an interesting watch right now. But they are being forced to show a lot more truth, just like they had to do on The View when that one gal had to give the legal notice and correct herself based off of what was being said. So this is going to be a lot of that boomerang. They're going to have to eat a lot of crow.
Yeah.
And I think that that's part of the deals that were made. You know, there's people who have been Hollywood actors who have been around. They've kind of, we know that we've heard bad things about them. They're starting to disappear, but their legacy seems to remain intact. And we know that that was one of the deals that they made. If they, comply, if they, plead out, then they'll be allowed to keep their legacy. And I think that part of that, okay, well, you're going to be doing these shows for us. I have a feeling Yellowstone might be one of those, but also on the news channels as well. They're going to have to be shown to be not the great journalists that they always presented themselves to be, yet that they were always wrong and that they were kind of corrupt. But we'll see what they'll actually allow them to keep in terms of their legacy. But I have a feeling that that guy that we just watched, he's probably cut a deal.
Yeah. Well, you notice they said something about the Senate, right? And that they wouldn't get confirmed. Listen, can you read that, please?
Ted Cruz believes Kash Patel and everyone else will get confirmed by the Senate. Oh, I believe that.
You ready?
Nobody's going to get turned down.
Yeah. You ready?
Listen, I think Kash Patel is a very strong nominee. I think the entire slate of cabinet nominees President Trump has put forward is very strong. I believe every one of these cabinet nominees is going to be confirmed by the Senate. I think Kash Patel is going to be confirmed by the Senate. You look at his background. He has a serious professional background. He was a prosecutor. He was a public defender. He was a senior intelligence staffer on Capitol Hill. He was a senior intelligence staffer in the White House. He was the chief of staff of the Department of Defense. He was the deputy director of national intelligence. And I got to say, all of the weeping and gnashing of teeth, all of the people pulling their hair out are exactly the people who are dismayed about having a real reformer come into the FBI and clean out the corrupted partisans who sadly have burrowed into senior career positions at the FBI. The FBI and the Department of Justice are two institutions incredibly important to the rule of law in the United States. I revere both. And one of the most tragic consequences of 4 years of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is both DOJ and the FBI have been politicized and weaponized. And I think Kash Patel is a very strong nominee to take on the partisan corruption in the FBI.
Thoughts?
Well, you know how I feel about him. I'm not too keen on Ted, but
I know.
But he's certainly been kind of pointing us in the right direction for quite some time now. That's a good thing. And I do believe when he says that all of the people that President Trump puts up will be confirmed. I do believe that what we had seen with, I just had his name. He talked about it. Stepped down, the appointment. Getz. Yeah, Getz. I think that was done for a very specific reason, very specific purpose. I don't think there's going to be any more problems with the people that he's appointing. Kash Patel is extremely qualified for this position. For them to go out of their way to say that Kash Patel is unqualified, keep in mind these are also the same people who gave us our current Surgeon General to tell us about how to be healthy. I mean, come on. Anyways.
Exactly.
Oh, thank you, Wendy. Appreciate that.
You ready?
Yep.
From the man himself, Mr. Kash Patel.
Woo-hoo.
Ready?
Cash, you rock, bro.
The FBI's footprint has gotten so freaking big, and the biggest problem the FBI has come out of its intel shops. I'd break that component out of it. I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state. And I'd take the 7,000 employees that work in that building and send them across America to chase down criminals. Go be cops. You're cops. Go be cops. What do you need 7,000 people there for? Same thing with DOJ. What are all these people doing here? Looking for their next government promotion, looking for their next fancy government title, looking for their parachute out of government. So while you're bringing in the right people, you also have to shrink government.
Thoughts?
He brings up the real problem with it. It's not just the symptoms that he's going after. It's not the fact that it's huge. He went and explained the real problems with it. They go to DC because they're looking for that promotion. They're all jockeying for position, or they're looking to meet that right connection where they can go get that cush job outside of the government and make some decent money and a real living out in the civilian world. See, that's the problem with DC being the way it was. And a lot of the founding fathers were very against a centralized national kind of capital like that. They felt that it should be spread out because of these very reasons that we have observed. See, the thing is they told us about it, and this is why you have to show them. This is more of that, you have to show them. So people are figuring out we don't want a large government, because then it just becomes alive for its own self-interest and nothing else. And so by shrinking the government and getting rid of these careerists who really don't have a value add, that's going to help out. Also, by taking these people out of the cushy office in DC where they can figure out which is the right ass to kiss at that day, they will now have to go out and actually go be FBI agents. What a concept. Now, that is also going to do a lot more of the cleaning. They say that they're going to get rid of like 50% of the government in the first year, and then they're going to shrink it even more as time goes on. See, the thing is they're going to know who to get rid of right away pretty easily. But those who are in positions like this, why it's going to take a lot more time is they're going to send all of these bureaucrats who have been in DC and forgot the street skills that they need to be an investigator for the Federal Bureau of Investigation, send them back out there to do investigations and figure out what they're made of. And some will cut the mustard and others won't. And those who don't cut the mustard, well, hey, maybe investigations just isn't your thing. Good luck in your new career, but it's not going to be here.
Right.
This is going to be interesting. And the fact that he said that he's going to turn the FBI, the Hoover building, into a museum to the deep state, absolutely no better concept could have been presented for that building.
Exactly. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Can you read that, please?
Senator Bill Hagerty schools meet the press on why Kash Patel is perfect to reform the FBI.
Ready?
And so now we get educated on why Kash is the pick.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
I've encouraged President Trump to bring Kash Patel to the table for precisely this reason. Unlike Jake, I understand his resistance to talk about Kash, but I'm more than happy to talk about him. He represents the type of change that we need to see in the FBI. If you think about the failures of background checks that have taken place, how could we have somebody like Colin Kahl who tweeted out classified information? I went to the FBI myself. They ignored me. Basically, he was confirmed on a party line vote in the U.S. Senate with Kamala Harris breaking the tie to put this person that should not even have a security clearance in the third most powerful position at DOD. You've got Rob Malley. I don't know how he cleared an FBI check. He's now under investigation. His ties to the Iranian influence regime that worked with him and for him. Ariane Talatabi, who is still at the DOD, should never clear an FBI background check. This entire agency needs to be cleaned out. It's not doing its job. And if you look at what happened, the politicization that took place back in 2016, when senior leaders of the FBI collaborated and conspired to try to keep President Trump out of office. And then when he came into office, they put together this fake Russiagate investigation that hindered the Trump administration for the first several years. Look at 2020. Look at what happened there with the fake Hunter Biden story that the FBI leadership worked together with big tech to censor the Hunter Biden laptop that allowed President Biden to basically fool the American public and come into office. There are serious problems at the FBI. The American public knows it. They expect to see sweeping change, and Kash Patel is just the type of person to do it.
Thoughts?
Good old Rocky Top. So Tennessee, they've been awesome through this entire awakening that America has had to suffer through. There's been some real heroes coming out of the volunteer state. That's been reassuring. Now, the exposure, this is more of that exposure as to, yes, the left, they already knew the left was going to be using the only mouthpiece that they have, which is the mainstream media. So they're going to bring people in to talk about this, but they're getting that pushback. Now, that's something that the press hasn't been used to, but I think that that's part of what the press is being forced to go through, because they have the training and the experience to present a narrative that is beneficial to those that they support, and they've been able to have that echo chamber. They've created that echo chamber, but now they don't have the echo chamber to repeat and confirm all of the lies that they've been saying. And so now the very people who have been repeating all of these talking points that they get from the mainstream media are now hearing an alternative perspective that they haven't heard before. So this is also part of the process in terms of how you wake people up that are in complete disbelief. They're cutting their hair off. They're, finally going to close their legs, all the things that they've been threatening to do. Maybe some of them will actually go to Canada or whatever. But they're going to be forced to listen to this on their very treasured and most important institutions like MSNBC and CNN. Well, this is CNN now.
Exactly. You ready?
Yep.
Can you read that, please?
What they're really saying when they attack Kash Patel's qualifications.
Ready?
They're fucked. Yeah.
Other terror groups. This work necessitated Mr. Patel's presence in locations across the globe, collaborating with host nation governments to successfully prosecute terrorists. He also served as the DOJ liaison officer to Joint Special Operations Command, working with our nation's most prestigious counterterrorism units, the Special Forces, to conduct collaborative global targeting operations against high-value objectives in almost every theater of war. He began his career as a public defender, trying scores of complex cases in federal courts ranging from murder to narco trafficking to complex financial crimes. Kash Patel is extraordinarily qualified to be the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigations. When you hear them say, oh, he doesn't have this qualification, he doesn't have that qualification, he hasn't done this or that, what they're really saying is, holy crap, Kash Patel's going to catch us all.
Thoughts?
That's what I'm hearing. They know that Kash is going to clean house. That's what they've been worried about with President Trump this whole time. They knew their days were numbered. They knew their days were numbered a long time ago. Now, when each and every individual one of the swamp creatures actually figured it out that their days were numbered is a different question. But Kash Patel and the way they're reacting is telling us absolutely everything we need to know, that Trump hit the nail on the head and that Kash Patel was the perfect person to put in the FBI. Keep in mind, this corruption's been going on longer than I've been alive, longer than most of us have been alive. After all, it was J. Edgar Hoover that has all sorts of conspiracies wrapped around him. And maybe that's one of the things that are going to be highlighted in this new museum to the deep state at the Hoover building. So, yeah. It's very telling. These are some of the ways that they tell us that Trump has already won. Nothing can stop what's coming. Is just merely their reactions. They're not going to tell us straight out, "Hey, I'm worried because I know that this guy is going to catch all of us."
No, they're just going to attack his character.
Yeah, they're going to attack the tools that they've always used.
Yeah.
What else? But the thing is obviously, if they had anything good on Kash Patel, they would have blown that out a long time ago. They got nothing on Kash Patel.
Exactly.
And that's another reason why they're concerned.
Yeah. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Can you read that, please?
Flashback. Kash Patel puts all the criminal government gangsters on notice.
Ready?
Yep.
Criminal prosecutions. Kash, I know you're probably going to be head of the CIA, but do you believe that you can deliver the goods on this in a pretty short order the first couple of months so we can get rolling on prosecutions?
Yes, we got the bench for it, Bannon, and you know those guys. I'm not going to go out there and say their names right now so the radical left-wing media can terrorize them. But, excuse me, the one thing we learned in the Trump administration the first go-around is we got to put in all America patriots top to bottom. And we got them for law enforcement. We got them for intel collection. We got them for offensive operations. We got them for DOD, CIA, everywhere. And the one thing we will do that they never will do is we will follow the facts and the law and go to courts of law and correct these justices and lawyers who have been prosecuting these cases based on politics and actually issuing them as lawfare. We will go out and find the conspirators, not just in government, but in the media. Yes, we're going to come after the people in the media who lied about American citizens, who helped Joe Biden rig presidential elections. We're going to come after you, whether it's criminally or civilly, we'll figure that out. But yeah, we're putting you all on notice. And Steve, this is why they hate us. This is why we're tyrannical. This is why we're dictators, because we're actually going to use the Constitution to prosecute them for crimes they said we have always been guilty of, but never have.
Thoughts?
Plain and simple right there. Pretty much everything I just said. I should have just kept my mouth shut and let Cash say it all straight from the horse's mouth. Isn't that amazing? They are afraid. They know what the problems are, and so they're just going to attack. Cash seems to be fairly confident that he's going to clean that out in a very short period of time. And it's going to be interesting to watch. It's also, think about on the backside of all of this, as all of these people escape from Washington, D.C. because they have no more jobs, and as they end up probably sadly going into foreclosure because they can't afford to pay their bills anymore, because the entire area surrounding Washington, D.C. is going to be depressed. It's going to be like Texas in the 80s after the oil crash, or in Nevada when there is a recession. Every time there's a recession, because it's a gambling town, and so it gets hit hard. And now DC has been able to weather fairly well through all of this because, well, they've been keeping all the damn money over there in the Washington DC area, and now the well has dried up. And when the well dries up, people got to find some greener pastures somewhere else. There's going to be a lot of resumes with a lot of government experience moving forward in the future. We'll see how this goes, but it's going to be a little bit more confusing as this economy shifts from a Biden, truly Obamonomics economy to a Trump economy. It's going to be a careful dance that is like a surfer riding a wave, but have faith and confidence that with all the trials that are coming up financially, that we'll be all right. But this will also explain why Q talked about the darkness and 10 days and stuff like that. There's going to be some problems still. I don't believe we've made it out of the woods yet. And even after he gets inaugurated, because President Trump was talking about if the hostages aren't released by inauguration day, it's not going to be good. So there's a lot of moving parts happening right now. But the dance and how everything happens moving forward is going to be the real masterclass about how to transition from an old type of economy to what an American economy should be.
And you know what? The fact that Cash pretty much said what you said tells me your analysis is just spot on. So
yeah, I mean, that, or maybe I heard it once upon a time.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's listen.
God is about to turn your situation around. Heavenly Father, I come before you with a heart full of hope and anticipation. Your word in Romans 8 verse 28 says, "And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose." I hold tightly to this promise and trust that you are already working behind the scenes to transform my circumstances. Lord, I am faced with challenges and uncertainties that feel overwhelming, but I know that nothing is beyond your power. I place my worries and burdens in your hands, asking for your divine intervention to bring about the breakthrough I need. Father, let your will be done in my life, and may your glory shine through the transformation you are bringing. Strengthen my faith as I wait for your perfect timing. Help me to remain patient and unwavering, confident that you are in control of every detail. Fill my heart with your peace and the assurance that you are turning things around for my good. Lord, I also lift up those who are struggling in similar ways, needing your miraculous touch. Extend your love and power to them, showing them your faithfulness and goodness in their own situations. Let them feel your presence and know that you are working on their behalf. Thank you, Father, for the miracles you are performing and the breakthroughs that are already on the way. I give you all the glory, honor, and praise for the amazing work you are doing in my life. If you believe that God is about to turn your situation
Thoughts, sir?
Kind of another way to say have the faith of a mustard seed, isn't it?
Yes.
It's about that perseverance, a little bit over a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Kelly tells us, right? It's about maintaining that faith, and it's also about asking God to give us that confidence, that ability to see that He's working in the background. See, that's one of the things is we might not always see what's going on in the background, and it can make it difficult. But that's part of what this process is it's having that faith that even though we can't see it working, doesn't mean that something isn't happening in the background. So it can be difficult, but have that faith and understand that this is a faith building exercise. If you're going through trials, and I know every single one of us have been, it seems like there's something kind of going on in the air and people have been a little cranky or whatever's going on. I have no idea. I know that I've been subject to it as well, but the thing is we have to keep our focus on God and have that faith that everything will be fine despite everything that's happening around us and, in happening to us or with our, part played in it, that it will be fine.
Amen. Amen. You ready?
Yes.
Can you read that, please?
Important history lesson, the Rockefeller takeover of medicine. Well, we've talked about this a lot.
Ready?
And this is on Liberty Daily. There's
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that should tell y'all something.
Uh-huh. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Around the same time that John D. Rockefeller seized U.S. media, he also hijacked U.S. medicine. When it was discovered that drugs could be produced from petroleum, America's top oil mogul ordered his army of propagandists to invert reality accordingly. Medicines used for thousands of years were suddenly classified as alternative, while the new, petroleum-based, highly addictive, and patentable drugs were declared the gold standard. After buying a German pharmaceutical company that manufactured chemicals of war for Adolf Hitler, Rockefeller leveraged his political influence by pressing Congress to declare natural healing modalities unscientific quackery. Rockefeller then took control of the American Medical Association and began offering massive grants to top medical schools under the mandate that only his approved curriculum be taught. Any mention of the healing powers of herbs, plants, and diet was erased from most medical textbooks. Doctors and professors who objected to Rockefeller's plan were crucified by the media, removed from the AMA, and stripped of their license to teach and practice medicine. Those who dared to speak out were arrested and jailed. When evidence began to emerge that petroleum-based medicines were causing cancer, Mr. Rockefeller founded the American Cancer Society, through which he suppressed that information. John D. Rockefeller is duly credited as the founder of the pharmaceutical industry, and the reason that medical error is currently the third leading cause of death in America. This is not an indictment against doctors. More than anyone, they are under the stranglehold of the single largest lobbying power in Washington. Every year, the pharmaceutical industry spends at least twice the amount as big oil to influence laws, policies, and public perception. Thanks to Mr. Rockefeller, the architect of American monopolies, no industry has more power over our lives than Big Pharma.
Thoughts?
So, again, a little bit more exposure about the Rockefeller medicine. So this is straight up RFK Jr.'s alley, right? We know that this is what he's going to be here for. I know that there's a lot of people. I've been, obviously still talking to people around, and a lot of people aren't confident that Trump and RFK and Cash are going to be able to do all of these things. There's a lot of disbelief right now, but that's okay because they don't have to have belief. They may be like Thomas. Right now they need to put their fingers in the wounds so that way they can actually believe. That's okay. They'll be shown. And it's not to say that, we're somehow anointed or anything like that, because we were blessed with the ability to see things as they are. But we are acting when we talk to people like that as that kind of reassurance or somebody to listen to them as well, because we know that as we go through this process of pulling away from the main narrative that's been presented to us, the guided tour of life that they've given, continuing to give us, we society has stopped accepting that guided tour, but there is a big step between 100% believing the guided tour and 100% questioning absolutely everything about the guided tour and how we're, what's really going on. This is a confusing time, but with the exposure of Rockefeller medicine, keep in mind, West Virginia University, they've got the Rockefeller Neuroscience Institute. And so, like he said, it's not about the doctors being bad, because they are brilliant people. They're very smart people, and they were able to retain tons of knowledge that I know that my silly butt would never be able to. It's just not who I am. So I have that, respect and appreciation for who they are and the profession that they do. But at the same time, they've been lied to. And they should be the ones who are going to be more pissed off than anything else. And I have a feeling that that's the delicate dance that we're going to be headed towards, because we don't want society to turn on our doctors when the doctors were the ones who were lied to begin with. How were they supposed to question? These people got to the universities and are teaching medicine because they were doctors and they were able to, do medicine to the point where they were able to teach it. There's no looking down on anybody for that. So this exposure is going to be to try to help the doctors recognize that they've been lied to and that they're going to need to reorient their practice moving forward. And I think it's the reorientation that we should be shooting for, as opposed to the, accusation and making people look like they're the demon, the demonification, of doctors, because that's not what's going to help anything out. People still need medicine. Medicine still has some value to it. It probably won't take long to figure out the natural equivalents to the petroleum-based medicines. So it's going to be interesting. Anyways, how do you say that one?
I don't know.
H-O?
H-O.
H-O? Hey,
H-O.
what's going on? Oh,
There you go.
how you doing? Thanks for joining us. We
Exactly.
appreciate you coming in.
Exactly. You ready?
Yes.
Can you please read this?
Callie Means exposes why Big Pharma buys media ads, and it's not about saving lives.
Ready?
Yeah. Surprise.
You're saying that pharma buys TV spots not to convince people to ask for specific drugs from their physicians, but to subvert the news business?
This is an open secret working for pharma.
I never even thought of that.
This is an open secret. The kind of silly ads you see between the news breaks, the points of that is not, it's marginally to impact the customer, but the pharma's already got that. They've already bought off the doctors. They're good on that. No, this is an open secret. The news ad spending from pharma is a public relation lobbying tactic, essentially, to buy off the news. The news is they're not investigating pharma.
I've noticed.
The news has become basically a referee that you were a terrible anti-science Luddite for asking why, the shots that we require our kids to get, that fundamentally by their own advertising change the immune system of that child for life, why it's gone from 20 to 70. To even ask that question, the news referees that and calls you anti-science, when the two largest vaccine makers in the country are literally criminal enterprises. GlaxoSmithKline and Merck, in the past 5 years, has settled two of the largest criminal penalties in American corporate history for bribing doctors and creating misleading research, who are the two largest vaccine makers. So you literally have the media playing referee that you can't even ask a question. Parent is actually,
if you have a vaccine injury, and many people have, including some I know very well, even a profound vaccine injury, you're not allowed to complain about it.
No, you're anti-science.
Even if it can be shown, this is a vaccine injury.
The media plays referee because they're funded. But so in all levels, right? Wow. On all levels. And I'm not
very dark, Callie Means.
Well, I think it's hopefully empowering. I think this is why we have an opportunity here, Tucker. Like Ozempic, this is not some new, it's kind of this funny thing, it's kind of vain, I can lose weight. This is the reason the stocks are going up is because this is going to be a lot of government money. This is going to be the highest funded drug from the US taxpayer in history. We've got a society. When are we going to say, let's go another direction. Why are we trusting pharma now when they've been completely acting to garner no trust?
Thoughts?
That have to break it down. So it's a giant tower, pharma, medicine, all of it. It's a giant tower that needs to be ripped down. It's some of it, we got to start taking out stone by stone, and then eventually, like a Jenga tower, it's all going to fall down. It's going to crumble. It's going to completely fall apart, and it's just going to be a mess on the floor. And a lot of this is going to be coming together and happening all at once. And it's not going to just be pharma. It's going to be so many other parts, like what we've been talking about tonight. And so we're watching the dismantling, but poking the holes in the argument. See, this is how you overcome these objections. They're putting their objections out, and their objections are getting smacked down super fast. They're getting smacked down. And on top of that, every time that they open their mouth to try to defend their position, it opens up another can of worms that makes their position even less tenable than it was before. So they end up finding themselves even in an even worse situation than where they were, trying to defend their piss poor perspective that's not based in truth. This is how you take away the power that they have, because they have the power of being the experts. And how do you take away the expert status of experts? You expose them for the frauds that they are. And that's what we're watching. This is how it happens.
I agree with Jenny. It's going to crumble like Babylon.
Sure is.
So, you know who our current health secretary is, right?
That dude, right?
Yeah, that dude.
Yeah.
That looks like a girl, or wants the people to think he looks like a girl.
Well, that and also
Yeah.
looks suspiciously like Mitch the bitch, Mitch McConnell. I don't
Exactly.
know. I'm not saying anything.
Not
I'm
saying anything.
Just saying that, maybe they look similar, the
Right.
same.
Well,
Yeah.
hold on, because this is our new health secretary and his routine. You ready?
But he actually thinks he's a him.
Yeah, he knows he's a him.
He knows. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, that's a good start.
Yeah. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, Robert. Okay, Robert.
Thoughts?
Well, I'm sure that you ladies really enjoyed that, but that's our new health secretary, and he's going to try to make every man look very similar to both of those men that we just saw. Aren't you happy you voted for Trump?
Right? You ready?
Yeah.
Let's listen.
Take away the stone. He said, take away the stone.
Lord, by this time there will be an odor. He's been dead for 4 days.
Martha, surely you know that is a minor matter. Did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God? Your only priority in this moment is faith.
Come on!
Lazarus, come out!
Thoughts?
Well, faith. We've been talking about this all night. Miracles happen. And I would say that our deliverance from this very, very corrupt swamp creature that has been really in control of this nation for so long could easily have gone so much worse. Thank God that all of the right people were in the right place. These are the times that should remind us that when things look like they are absolutely impossible, that they can be done, and that it can all be done through faith. We just have to have that faith, even though it seems like it's something that can't be done. Lazarus being risen from after being in the grave for 4 days. You know, everybody else thought 3 was it. You know, that's why we have a wake for 3 days, because there's the possibility that people, you know, people have come back after 3 days, but that's generally the very end of it. And so that is one of the meanings of the story of Lazarus coming out from his tomb. These are beautiful stories, and a lot of people don't believe them. But when I see the miracles that are happening to this very day about how we've all been delivered from the evil of this world, reminds me that miracles happen even when we don't even recognize that they're happening.
Uh-huh. You ready?
Mhm.
Can you read that, please?
Smart. Glenn Youngkin invites incoming members of Trump's administration to move to Virginia.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm Glenn Youngkin, governor of the great Commonwealth of Virginia. And to the new members of President Trump's administration moving to the area, I want to personally invite you to make Virginia your home. Virginia is right across the Potomac. We offer a great quality of life, safe communities, award-winning schools where parents matter, and lower taxes than DC or Maryland. It's why so many people choose Virginia as the best place to live, work, and raise a family.
Thoughts?
I thought he didn't like Trump.
No, he loved Trump.
Oh, he loved Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Who was it from Virginia then? There was somebody from Virginia.
The old governor.
Oh, that's it. Okay. Well, you know, I know that a lot of people are going to be moving to Virginia, and it's a beautiful state, by the way. I love Virginia when I had the opportunity to be there. I thought it was a magnificent state. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people moving there, and I know that Virginia is probably going to be taking some hits here soon as the government gets shrunk. It's going to put a hurt on that state. But it also tells me that there's going to be a lot of really big, beautiful houses up for sale soon for probably pretty cheap.
I think so. You ready?
Yeah.
Can you read that, please?
Roger Stone says Donald Trump is much more involved in staff picks this time.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's abundantly clear that the president, who had a great presidency in his first term, but who came to Washington as a stranger to politics, and I think initially thought, well, the Republicans are my team, the Democrats are the other team, but was undermined by a number of Republicans, is not going to make any of the errors that he made in his first term. Now, he still gave us the most robust economy in our history. We built our military strength, kept us out of war. But I think this time he is more deeply involved in the process himself. He's not just looking at cabinet secretaries, but he's looking at deputy secretaries, assistant secretaries. This is going to be an America First administration, top to bottom. And I think everybody's picked so far, generally speaking, one or two that I wouldn't have been my choice, but overall, Pam Bondi, Tulsi Gabbard, Pete Hegseth. These people are first rate, and they understand that it is the Trump agenda, the America First agenda that they are to carry out, not their own agenda.
Thoughts?
That's exactly what it's talking about. I'm still expecting to see a lot of great information come out from that man moving forward in the future. I remember the Kem Clement prophecies about that stone, with this stone. And I still think that there's something there that's going to really break a lot of this stuff open. But he's bringing up the fact that Trump's not making the same mistakes that he made the first time around. But the thing is when he made those appointments before, those were appointments that were recommended to him because it was part of the process, the way they always worked, so we're going to go ahead and give you these people that know how to navigate it. We know these things that you want to do for America, and we want to support that because America and Republican Party and all that jazz. But Trump kind of probably already knew that because he's not a dumb guy. But I have a feeling that these are the people that he learned the first time around, the people that he could trust. And so these are the people that he's going to be putting in the place that understand not only how it really works, but how to make sure that it starts really working the way it's really supposed to, as opposed to the way it really works. Chop says, Loudoun County is not safe for children. Not a surprise. Yeah. Texas, just don't move to Amarillo if you're from California.
Or don't bring your politics.
Yeah, don't bring your politics.
If you're a good person, you can.
I never understood that.
Yeah.
I'm going to get away from this place that I don't like the way everything is, and then I'm going to try to make it just like it was where I just came from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I know. You ready?
Yeah.
This dork. Let's listen.
This dude's still around.
Mm-hmm. Just listen.
I think some people will be shocked when they get to heaven and God asks them, why were you so mean to trans people? Hi, I'm Jeffrey. I get compared to Jesus a lot on this channel and many others. And let's go down our little list.
Why is it always Christianity? Why not ever Buddhism or Hinduism or maybe Islam? Being facetious, of course, I know why, but let's hear this list.
Number 1, preaching love in a world that's very hateful. Yes, check.
Wait. Your love or God's love? Man's love or God's love? They're two different things. The Bible says Jesus is the Word. The Word became flesh and dwelt among men. So we have to go to the Word of God to know what love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. There's no pride in love. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongdoings. Love, and this is the most important part, love does not delight in evil things, but it rejoices in truth. Truth and love are synonymous. They're one and the same. Don't believe me? Let's go over here to Ephesians, where it says that, but speaking truth and love, they're the same thing. So what love are you preaching?
Preaching love so well, the message has so much truth and depth that the religious leaders and conservatives of our time want us DEAD. Yes, both Big J and myself. True. Not just DEAD, but discredited, dehumanized, outcast.
For many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Christ, and shall deceive many. You're comparing yourself to Christ. And I love you enough to tell you the truth. You should repent and turn to him if you're not too far gone.
Number 3, we have so much love to give that we even preach love for those who are caught up in hating us the most. True and true. What will you say when you get to heaven and God asks you, why were you so mean to Jeffrey? Why were you so mean to trans people?
Bro, truth is not mean. Truth is love. Truth can be a hard pill to swallow. It can be harsh, but truth is love. And I love you enough to tell you the truth. The truth is we spend most of our lives entwined in the things that we were never meant to be in. And we begin to identify with those things and say we are those things when fundamentally we are not and never could be those things. And when someone brings us truth, we think that they're attacking us. They're bigots. They're hateful. They're fearmongers and all these other things. But that's just truth. And those people love you enough to tell you that. And when we get down to brass tacks, the truth of the matter is that Jesus died for our sins. He loves us enough that if we repent and turn from our evil and wicked ways and accept him as our Lord and Savior, take up our cross and follow him, then he will save us. That's the truth.
Thoughts?
I have no use for that dude whatsoever. And now he's claiming to be like Jesus?
Yes.
Well, that's not going to work out very well in the long run. Ooh, it's a good thing you have a chance to repent up until the last moment. Wow.
And we're so glad you're here.
There you are. What's going on?
Hope you had a great
Been
Thanksgiving.
watching for 2 weeks now, getting bad reception. Oh man, for Rumble, only Rumble. I don't
See,
understand
that's
that.
weird.
Yeah, I don't get it.
They are delusional, Skunk. They are delusional.
I mean, it's if nothing else, gender dysphoria. Like it's a clinical depression. We understand that they, are depressed, and people who are depressed do depressed kind of things. And apparently some depressed people put on dresses. I mean, it's what happens. And then they're going to sit there and say that, they're all about love. I think that your definition of love is different from everybody else's.
Yes.
Because sex isn't love. It's a confusion that is part of the English language, and the fact that we as humans just really don't know what love really is. We're trying our best, but we're figuring it out. But we recognize that that's not what it is. And so some wires are crossed, and we forgive you for that. But wow, that's there's a lot going on there.
There is.
I really don't have a whole lot to say about that dude.
How about some Preston?
Good luck. Yeah. Go for some Preston. He's awesome.
Hey, TikTok. Let's take a moment to talk about North Carolina. So many of you have reached out to me and asked questions, or you've tagged me in videos. And I want to first say the people of North Carolina most certainly have not been forgotten. But what cannot go without being said is the true political downfall that occurred in North Carolina on November 5th. So let's talk about the current players and who's coming on the scene in January, because that is going to absolutely determine the recovery efforts of Hurricane Helene. So I've seen the videos of Roy Cooper celebrating Thanksgiving in his mansion. Well, Roy Cooper is currently the governor of North Carolina and arguably the most anti-American governor in the United States. Make no mistake, Roy Cooper only has another month left. He doesn't care at all what happens to the people of North Carolina. He proved that at the very beginning of this disaster, and he has shown that every single day since. In fact, it was just a few weeks ago that he vetoed a piece of legislation that was to offer additional immigration enforcement to ensure further safety for North Carolinians, as well as expand school choice. Thankfully, the North Carolina General Assembly overrode his veto just days before Thanksgiving. North Carolinians overwhelmingly voted in Josh Stein, who is the current sitting Democratic Attorney General. Josh Stein will become the governor of North Carolina in January. At the same time that North Carolinians voted for President Trump and voted for their new governor, Josh Stein, they also voted for Jeff Jackson, Democratic congressman, to become their next Democratic Attorney General. Now, we all know Jeff Jackson on this app, right? Jeff Jackson's the one who came on here and bold-faced lied to his constituents and the American people days after Hurricane Helene hit and told them that, in fact, there was no blocks happening. Jeff Jackson is also the one who built his platform here on TikTok and then went on the House floor and voted in favor of the TikTok ban. Jeff Jackson is also the one who voted in favor of sending $90+ billion to a foreign country while Americans were starving to death. I say all this to say the future of North Carolina over the next 2 to 4 years at the state level, based on their political heads, is absolutely grim. Josh Stein, Jeff Jackson is the duo that literally is just going to play off of Roy Cooper's playbook. So it will absolutely be up to the federal government. Thankfully, we've elected President Donald Trump and the American people to continue to help the people of North Carolina. So what can you do? Well, you can begin by reaching out to current sitting Attorney General Josh Stein and demanding that his day one action plan be to help the people in Western North Carolina, and ask, what is that plan? Option 2 is, and you should do this concurrently, reach out to Jeff Jackson, current sitting member of Congress for North Carolina's 14th district, and ask him as Attorney General, what is his plan to help the people of Western North Carolina? Those are both individuals who are currently sitting in office today, who's going to have an elevated office come January that will hold the key responsibility for the people of Western North Carolina. Now, I do not expect much from either of those individuals. So that is why it's up to the American people to continue to help the people of Western North Carolina. And that is why I continue to pour my support into Samaritan's Purse. Samaritan's Purse not only is an incredible faith-based organization, but they have been on the ground since day one. They have on-the-ground volunteer opportunities. They have ways that you can donate monetarily. They are a 501c3. Samaritan's Purse is literally the Lord's work happening right before our very own eyes in Western North Carolina. In Samaritan's Purse, what I love the most about them is that they are open and transparent about the work that they're doing. They don't collect money and then hide behind closed doors like the state agencies or federal agencies do. Over the course of the next few weeks, I'm going to be talking more about Samaritan's Purse and what that partnership looks like. But I encourage all of you, again, check the link in my bio, look at what they're doing in North Carolina and the many ways that you are able to help. Again, they are a faith-based nonprofit 501c3, and they absolutely have offered tremendous support to the people of Western North Carolina and around the world for that matter. Much love. God bless. I will continue to talk more about my efforts in Western North Carolina and ways that you can help. But do check the links in my bio. Make sure you are reaching out to Jeff Jackson, to Josh Stein, holding them accountable, letting them know what is expected of them on day one in office. And that is how we make a change for the people of Western North Carolina.
Thoughts?
Got to talk to them, whether they listen to you or not. I know that I've kind of failed on that here in Nevada, but then again, I've just sent so many letters that have been absolutely ignored and just whatever. But we do need to make our voices heard. You know, maybe these politicians that are coming in, they may have felt one way, but if they actually get enough letters from their constituents that say, well, these are the things we expect out of you, maybe they will actually, rise to the challenge. We don't know how it's going to work. And that's why there's more than one election for each office, because they're not there for life, because they're not kings or queens or princes or royalty of any kind. A lot of our politicians have kind of gotten that twisted lately, and they started to think that they were some kind of modern American royalty, if that makes any sense. But that's what their behavior shows. So as we give these new people a chance and as we see what happens, make sure that we're communicating, make sure that we're letting these new politicians know, these new representatives are doing what they are supposed to do, which is to represent us, the people. And if they don't, well, then we know we can get rid of them. Also, a lot of this could be exposure of some of these people. Again, it's a long game and we're not exactly sure how it's going to play out. But we know that once the dominoes start tumbling, those corrupt people are going to really fall on everything that they've built for themselves. So yeah, just give it some time and make sure your voice is heard. Also, Samaritan's Purse, I put that link up there, and I've been hearing about them a lot and about how they've been instrumental in trying to get the assistance out there to our brothers and sisters in North Carolina.
Hey, Esto, lurk
Hey,
away.
Esto, what's going on? Thanks for lurking.
We're glad you're here.
Yes, we
Lurking
are.
or not.
There you go.
Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
So they've been saying how Trump hates women and he's going to take their rights away.
Well,
right?
yeah. He wants to put them in bondage and make them
Yes.
wear chastity belts and all sorts of weird
Yes.
shit.
You ready?
Mm.
Let's watch.
All right.
This is right now, yeah. Oh, together we rise. It's about time. Unleash the power.
Pam Bondi, Attorney General.
Mhm.
Linda McMahon, Secretary of Education. Caroline Leavitt, White House Press Secretary. Susie Wiles, Chief of Staff. Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence. Elise Stefanik,
Stefanik.
Thank you. Ambassador to the United Nations. Christine, how do you say her last name?
Noam.
Noam, Secretary of Homeland Security.
That's what they don't understand was the comment there at the very end. His actions tell a very different story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Well, those are the main thoughts. They say, and that's what people are waking up to, is they say a lot of things, and they never, are able to provide the fruits of all the labor that they keep telling us about. Yet when we hear about President Trump, it's usually as he's doing the things that the left says that they're going to do. And well, that's another reason why they hate him. But they can get glad in the same pants that they got mad in, because he's actually going to make it happen and show us how it's supposed to look. That's what we're excited about. So they can make all the accusations and talk about how he hates women, but he really sure seems to appreciate what they have to say in secretarial level positions.
Yes.
Gotta head up out of here. Next
All
triggering
right.
a migraine. I love you, Dad. Take care of yourself.
Love you, Dad.
I love you, Dad.
Yes, Jenny, I will put that in the Telegram chat.
There we go.
You ready?
Mhm.
I got Shipwreck.
Shipwreck. I love her.
Let's-
We haven't seen her in a while. She's awesome.
Let's listen.
Okay.
And her husband went on MSNBC this morning and talked about how there is no way that Pete Hegseth is going to be able to be confirmed, or that the Senate's going to stop it. That's better. Neither is Kash Patel and neither is Tulsi Gabbard. But why are we still listening to these people? Because it's all over my feed. The doom and gloom. It's all in my comments. First of all, the media has been wrong about an awful lot. The media was wrong about safe and effective. The media was wrong about the number of deaths. The media has been wrong about Trump having to serve his prison time. The media was wrong about the election. The media was wrong about the polls. The media was wrong about Ukraine. The media has been wrong about Israel and Gaza. The media lied to you for the last 3.5 years about Joe Biden's cognitive abilities, saying that he was, what was the word? Smart as a whip, quick as a whip, something like that. And it's getting to people, and they know it's getting to people, and that's why they do it like this. It gets to people. It gets in their emotions. emotionless. It brings them all down. It brings everybody down. The news is notorious for bringing people down and making people feel hopeless. And the reason that they do that is because if they can get the collective to feel hopeless, then they win. As long as you think that there's no hope, you won't fight back. We have an entire nation of people who have been traumatized by our own government. I saw a quote once that said, when something good happens for people who are traumatized, they can't enjoy it because they just wait for the other shoe to drop. They know that good things don't last, that the good things are going to get taken away. They believe that they don't deserve the good things. So instead of just kind of accepting the good things and being happy that you have the good things, you are constantly looking for the negative in the situation because you're anticipating something else to come so that you can be ready and you're not caught off guard. And it's not your fault. It's not your fault. You've been pre-positioned to be this way. Your parents were pre-positioned to be that way. Their parents were pre-positioned to be that way. And it was all done by design. Constantly be on guard, to constantly be in a state of fight or flight, to constantly be off kilter, because people who aren't confident in where they are and where they stand and who they are easy to control. And it's so obvious in my comments, man. So Trump won. Like, we've been waiting and I've been hearing it. Trump's not going to win. Voting doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're not going to do it. Already won. Yay. And we had one day where everybody was like, yay. And then you know what happened? People were like, they're never going to get confirmed. They're never going to confirm that cabinet. There's no way the Senate's going to push that through. Just wait. We still have X amount of days until Inauguration Day. Just wait. Something big is going to happen. It's going to be war. It's going to be another assassination attempt. Just wait. Take a minute and just offer you a different position. What if it's not? What if it's fine? What if those days are over? Because they are over for the media. Nobody listens to the media anymore. Their ratings are in the tank. They're losing their job. And it was the media that did this. So what if along with that whole mentality is over? And it's hard. It's hard to get out of that anxious fight or flight. It's the day of my birth, and long before, a system has been put in place that has built people up and built people up and built people up just to get to that final point, and then to have them be completely let down. People, they don't want to believe in the good thing anymore. They don't want to hope anymore. They're tired of being let down, and I get it. I do. What if we stop putting that kind of stuff out there and we hope for the best and we just try to figure it out and we just start putting more positive vibes out there? And that's not naive. I am not a naive person. In fact, I am probably just the opposite. I am an excessive planner. I have anxiety for days. I was always constantly waiting for the other shoe to drop so that I could plan and I could prepare it, because that's the way that I had been raised. And eventually I built on that to the point where, you know what, I'm going to do my absolute best to put good out there, to be hopeful. What if the entire cabinet gets approved? What if there's a plan and the entire cabinet gets approved and we start and things get better and you're not paying income tax anymore and your life just starts to get better. Prices of things go down and there's no wars. Even if all that happens and we are at peace and we are calm and we are solid and safe, it doesn't matter. There are going to be people out there who have not healed the shit that they were brought up in, that are always going to be still waiting. Well, just wait until this happens. Just wait until the next thing happens. Like, stop fucking doing that. Stop putting that out into the ether. It's not helpful for anybody. Stop being a doom and gloomer. What if it all goes just fine? Why don't we start thinking that way? Why is it so easy for us to be negative about the situation, but it is so freaking hard to be positive, to think, okay, you know what, maybe this is going to be great. Or at the very least, maybe we'll learn something. I didn't know that this is how the cabinet positions were picked. If they don't get put in there and they don't get chosen, fucking fine. But at least I know now how they're picked and I know what to look for in the future. Like, there's always a positive. There's always a silver lining. The doom and gloom people, you got to stop. You got to stop. You're not helping. And there's some of them are anons. They're like, well, just wait until, no, stop it. Fucking stop it.
Thoughts?
There is a difference between negativity and being reserved.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big difference between the two.
Mm-hmm.
And then the positivity. And there's a big difference between positivity and having a hopeful outlook. Now, blind positivity and a hopeful outlook. So I feel that what we try to present here is that honest, hopeful outlook. And the reason, and I try to give the reasoning, we try to give the reasoning as to why we believe that, we should be positive about this situation. Because as we start to wake up to the deception that's been aimed at all of us, we recognize that white is black, black is white, and that what is up is down and what's down is up. Everything's twisted and switched. And so when we see things that look like they're bad on the surface, we've had enough experience since, well, we'll just go with Trump's first election, just from that point. And when he came into office and we started to see the way things were actually going, it it's easier to see how the game, or when you can see that the game that's being played can make it look like things are bad when they're good, and it can make it look good when things are actually bad. And this is the way poker is played. It's when
Texas Hold'em.
yeah, when you have a good hand, you want to look weak because you want to get other people to put their chips into the pot. When you look and when you are weak, you want to look strong to keep other people out, so that way you can at least try to get the smaller pot. Better to have a little bit and actually get that pot, as opposed to lose everything. And it's better to get other people to put their cards on the table when they have something that's truly weak. And so that's how this game is being played. And it's difficult to try to keep track and follow through. But in the end, haven't we all noticed that the direction, the general direction, has been one of exposure of the very dark, deep aspects of the swamp that they fought tooth and nail to keep out? How much did they diminish, minimize, and call people crazy conspiracy theorists over the whole Pizzagate thing?
Garbage.
Yeah, well,
I
not
mean,
just
they
that.
called us all kinds of names.
Right, but I'm saying about Pizzagate. But
Yeah.
as time has gone on, aren't more and more people comfortable with the fact that Pizzagate was actually real?
Yes.
And so it's that long-term view, and you can't have that long-term view to recognize where the momentum's at. And so having that optimism and using that optimism to push forward that positivity, which will snowball and create a more positive effect moving forward, is exactly what we should all be trying to do. Yes, it may look like, and everything that's been said about what President Trump wants to do. I mean, let's think about it. RFK is going to take out the big pharma industry. That the Department of Education is going to go away. That Kash Patel is going to gut the FBI. That Doge is going to audit the IRS, and that we're probably not going to have anything that really resembles income taxes, maybe even the possibility of not having an income tax, that the government actually functions off of tariffs the way it was designed to. See, these are a lot of big, fantastic, and not even throwing out the whole dollars collapsing thing, and that the Fed's dead. See, these are all giant things that if you were to talk to a lot of people, they'd be like, he's never going to be able to do that. But if you look at the people that he's putting in place, I see that possibility. And so I'm sticking my hope in the faith in God that the things that I'm seeing is actually what we're headed towards. All right, we could be heading towards apocalypse and we're all going to die, whatever. There's nothing I can do about it. But again, as the saying, dear old dad always tells me, 2 men behind bars, one sees mud, the other sees stars. It's about what you focus on. So make sure you keep a positive mental attitude with that focus on the good.
Amen. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Can you read that, please?
Family Guy nails it with their parody of The View.
Ready?
Yeah.
Hey, Stewie, 3 o'clock. Time for The View. No, not again! Let me out of here! I can't watch another second!
Thoughts?
See, I was thinking it was more like the Finding Nemo seagulls.
Mhm.
Mine.
Mhm.
All of them doing that. But, clucking hens, yeah, that one works too.
That one works too, right? I watched it like 3 times. It
Yeah,
was so funny
that's
to me.
a pretty good one.
Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
Can you read that, please?
Kamala's senior advisor, David Plouffe, admits the media polls that had her ahead were all lies.
Huh, imagine that.
Who would have seen that one coming?
You ready?
Yeah.
When we got in, my recollection is some of that snapped back, but we were behind. I mean, I think it surprised people because there was these public polls that came out in late September, early October, showing us with leads that we never saw. I mean, it was just basically a race that in the battlegrounds was 46-47, 47-48. So that's not where we started. We started behind. She was able to climb out. I think even after the debate, we might have gained 0.51. It wasn't a race that moved a lot. And so I think when you think about our own internal analytics, if you have Wisconsin at 47-47, or Pennsylvania 48-47 Trump, let's say, which I think is where we had it at the end, you've got to have undecided break your way more than your opponents, and you've got to get a little benefit from turnout, which we weren't able to do.
No,
Thoughts?
no, you didn't get that turnout, did you?
No.
Ooh, yeah. That was one of the more enjoyable parts. And oh, by the way, yeah, we knew y'all were lying because that's what y'all do every time. You try to encourage Republicans to stay home because they feel there's no hope, and you try to encourage the Democrats that it's close enough that you better get out there. Yeah, it's the same old tired thing that we've seen every time, and more people are seeing it because, well, y'all are just a bunch of lying liars who lie.
Exactly.
Jenny.
I know. Where's Jenny?
Where's Jenny?
She might be busy.
She might be busy.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's listen.
Okay.
It's Mustang Monday. Thoughts?
Beautiful car.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lehigh Coca hit a home run with that one.
I know.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that he's the reason we have that.
Well, no. Well, I mean, we had the Ford versus Ferrari. But anyways, yeah, sure would be nice if
Oh, there
we
she
had
is.
cars.
Liar,
There it
liar,
is.
pants on
Liar,
fire.
liar, pants on fire. Thank you, Jenny.
Thank you, Jenny.
Anyway.
Anyway, Lee Iacocca.
Yeah, it was just well, he's the one that made sure that the Mustang happened. It's an amazing car, and I look forward to us getting back to what I'd really like to see is a lot more simple cars. Look, all of this electro wizardry is nice, but God, do we really need cars that drive? Well, yeah, I've seen the way people drive. Maybe we do need cars to drive. I don't know. Make mass transit great again.
I don't know. It was a great
It
song.
was a great song, Jenny.
Yeah. And I agree, Carol, that car sounds amazing.
A little Opie cam in there.
Yeah.
Sounded good.
Sounded good. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's listen.
I may not be the person I used to be, and honestly, that's okay. Life has a way of putting us through experiences that shape us. Some beautiful, some painful, and some we never even saw coming. Along the way, I've lost pieces of who I once was, and sometimes I miss those parts. But I've also gained new perspectives, learned hard lessons, and discovered strengths I didn't know I had. Change can be hard, and it's not always something we choose. But I'm starting to accept that who I am now is a result of everything I've been through. And while I'm not perfect, I'm trying to be better, one day at a time.
I say this all the time. When I go to bed at night, I always thank God for helping me be a better person today than I was yesterday. And every morning when I wake up, I ask God to please help me be a better person today than I was yesterday. Because I think it's super important that we continue to grow. As you continue to grow, you get so much joy, and the people around you get so much joy. And you're going to make mistakes, and you're going to do things that you wish you didn't do. And you're going to have times when you think that you're never going to get past something, but you will. Because God's always going to be there, and he's going to help you grow. And just because you make a mistake doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means you're human. Just like with sins, we've accepted Jesus Christ as our Savior, and so we know we are saved, and we repent for our sins. So if you do something to anyone in your life and you feel bad for it, apologize. And don't say the S word, actually apologize and try and correct the behavior. And it's not going to be an overnight correction because it takes time. But just remember, we're all growing and we're all getting through this, and everything's going to be great. And all we can do is be a better person today than we were yesterday.
Beautifully
Susan?
said. Everything takes time. We also, hindsight's always 20/20. And, we can look back at mistakes that we've made. But something that we should always keep in mind is that at that moment in time, we made the best decision that we could with the information that we had. See, the thing is you can't get wisdom until you've touched the pan, right? Don't touch the pan, it's hot, and then you touch it, it's hot. You can only get wisdom one way, really. I mean, you can get the intelligence by reading about it and understanding and seeing other people doing it. But the wisdom truly is when we kind of fall flat on our face. And so we, can second guess things that we've done in the past. But if you really think back about what your mental state was and what your level of understanding of life, and you apply that to each and everything that you feel that you made was a mistake, could you have done it any differently? Could you have made a better decision with the information that you had at that time? I'm going to say that no, you could not. So you have to forgive yourself and you have to move on. But the only way that you can move on is to recognize the mistakes that were made and then correct those. Hey, Mike. Thanks for listening.
Lurk away.
Yeah, lurk away. We appreciate it. Anyways, so give yourself that grace. Give everybody else that grace. Give each other a break. And the reason why we have to do that is because we don't know what the sum of their total life experience was. So they might not know better because they didn't have the life experience to teach them otherwise. And so that grace must be given, and it helps us in the end because we're not getting spun up about it. It's difficult work on both sides, but on both sides, it's to make all of us grow. And that's what we should be thanking God for in the challenges and in the trials, because in the end, we get that growth, which is truly the blessing, because we know better than to get back in that situation ever again.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. Thank you very much for joining us. We really do appreciate each and every one of you. And we look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and Pill.net.
And if you haven't already, please take a minute and give us that virtual hug. If you're over on YouTube or Rumble, hit that thumbs up. If you're over on Pill.net, take that red pill. If you're over on X, smash that heart. And if you're on Facebook, you have like 7 buttons. Just click buttons.
Clickety, clickety.
We know all
Click
of
away.
us here. We're all a family. We all like to push buttons. So
Yeah.
go push buttons.
We know that you like to push buttons, so go ahead and hit the buttons. Doesn't cost you anything. It helps us out tremendously. We
does.
appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for joining us tonight. We love you all. Have a great night. Be safe, and God bless each and every one of you.